honest critic, and I tell you exactly what I think of the film. Today I'm going to talk about the film The World's End for 2013. The World's End is a alien invasion comedy, drama, whatever you want to call it, written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright, and directed by Edgar Wright. It is the third film in the three-flavored Cornetto trilogy, also known as the Brian Uskin trilogy, as a reference to the something blood and something trilogy, I forget. Anyway, so the thing is, this is a spiritual successor to both Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. The only thing that's similar is they have the same cast for the most part, same director, same producer, and similar themes. And usually all the enemies are in a group. Like in Shaun of the Dead, the enemies were zombies, and Hot Fuzz, the enemies were the NWA. In this movie, the enemies are an alien invasion thing. Whatever. This movie is so beautiful in ways about growing up, and Simon Pegg's character, Gary Keane, I think he has the best performance ever in this film. He definitely deserves some sort of nomination, but whatever. His acting's so great, and I'll get into why I enjoy this film.
Nights that starts out like any other, but ends up being the best night of your life.
Are you sitting comfortably?
The film starts with Gary Keane recounting the year 1990, where he was king pretty much, and he talks about his friends, including Oliver.
Really, he was all math. We called him O-Man because he had a birthmark on his forehead that looked like a 6.
Who has a birthmark that 6 is, so they call him O-Man. Steve,
Jammed together, chased the girls.
who is a cool guy he hangs out with, and they both have a crush on the same girl. Pete, who
Wasn't the kind of kid we'd usually hang out with, but he was good for a laugh. And he was absolutely minted.
is a bullied kid, but they like him because he's good for a laugh, and he has a lot of money, so they jump in his pool. And of course, Andy, who
I loved him too.
is Gary's best friend, who he really loves. There was one teacher Gary did like with Mr. Shepard, played by the great Pierce Bronson.
There's nothing we were going to miss about school. Maybe Mr. Shepard. He was definitely one of the good guys.
The second Bond appeared in the Cornetto trilogy. It's funny in the commentary they say there's gonna be a Bond in the first movie, and then like I got the call. Simon Pegg said that, and Nick got the part of James Bond, which is a pretty funny gag on the commentary. Anyway, so their goal that day is to do the Golden Mile.
To conquer the Golden Mile. 12 pubs along a legendary path of alcoholic indulgence.
And it's literally the best day of Gary's life, and he hasn't moved on from it. And now he's in a therapy session talking about it, and when he's asked if he's upset he didn't make the Golden Mile, he says no, but you can tell he really wants to do it.
You disappointed?
About what?
You didn't make it to the world's end.
No.
So what does he do? He gets all his friends back to go to Newton Haven and do it again. So first he goes to Pete because he knows he'll be the most easy to convince.
What is it that you want to do? We want to...
Then he goes to Stephen, who is also easy to convince, saying
more windows above the front elevation.
Who's the helmet without an helmet?
that he can, try to see Sam or something. I don't know. Then the third easiest the hardest. Then the other hardest convince is Oliver.
A lot's changed since then, Oliver.
Right?
This is our chance to take stock.
A stock take. You make it sound so much fun.
Who is now a retailer. And yeah, he accepts. And he leaves the hardest one to convince, which is Andy, who's...
I have a friend here to see you.
No, I don't.
very mad at him over something, but we do learn that there's a car accident, and that Gary, he says his mom died of cancer, which kind of guilts Andy into going to this whole thing. And now it's time to go to New Haven, and of course Gary is late.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You said 3, it's almost 4.
Yeah, 3 for 4. You know your problem, Gary, you're never wrong. How is that a problem?
And he says, you should be at 3 sharp, but there's only 3 minutes till 4. He said, yeah, 3 to 4. So he's never wrong. And he has an old car called the Beast, to his just an intro. But I do like this, how he says it's basically the same car except for all this stuff.
When she's had a bit of work done, I had to replace the brakes, suspension, exhaust, seats, wheels, paneling, carburetor, manifold, whole engine really, mirrors, headlamps. Other than that, she's the same old motor.
Basically, this is what the blanks are, which we learn later. And there's a great line here.
Sketchbook.
You do know that The Three Musketeers is a fiction, right? Written by Alexander Dumas.
A lot of people are saying that about the Bible these days.
What, that it was written by Alexander Dumas?
Don't be daft, Steve. It was written by Jesus.
And also, we now see that the police are on their tail. Now they know that Gary is going to do the Golden Mile because he's been telling them everybody doing that. So, keep that in mind. They go to the first post, and it's a pretty funny gag.
A nationwide initiative to rob small, charming pubs of any discernible character.
Starbucking, man. It's happening everywhere.
Where they say the Starbucks and how every pub now looks the same. And Gary though says they can't get rid of the smell, and I love this reaction.
Take away the smell, though.
Sure they tried.
Then they go to the second one, the Old Familiar, I believe. First post, Old Familiar, yeah. And Old Familiar looks exactly like the first post. And funny enough, the two people are bartenders at each bartender are related and they even know they're in the movie together.
Oh, yes, this is more like it.
Like deja vu.
And I do like that the guys are like, who's he? Because Gary Keane thinks he's a cool guy. And also, Andy is now a teetotal. He doesn't drink alcohol.
No, sorry. Can we have 4 of those and a tap water, please?
What?
Which pissed off Gary. Now we meet Sam, Oliver's sister, who Gary slept with once, and Steven is in love with. And he tried to sleep with her again in the disabled toilet before, but then...
Gary, you are out of your mind.
What are you talking about? You gave me the sign.
What sign?
You went to the toilet.
Gary, are you serious? I haven't seen you in 20 years. Do you really think I'm going to have sex with you in the ladies' toilet?
Well, the disabled is out of order.
She leaves, and then they go to the third bar, the famous Cock, where Gary is banned, so he drinks beers that were outside. I would not do that, especially now they're in coronavirus. The fourth is the Good Companions, where they just drink, reminisce, and yeah. This is when Gary gets mad, and they also find out that he lied about Lamar dying of cancer.
I'm feeling sorry for him. Done.
While he's in the bathroom, he tries talking to the kid saying he's the no G. Kid doesn't listen, so he rock bottoms him. Hell yeah. If you smell what Gary is cooking. But it turns out there's robots. They all go to the bathroom and confronting Gary about his dead mother. And then there's a great, awesome action scene. So now I know that the reason that no one recognizes him, or he thinks, is because everyone's been taken over by robots.
It's gone fuck up. Everybody's been replaced by one of these. That's why no one recognized us. Basil, Dave, Raimondo. I thought it was weird. Shane Hawkins. Exactly. It's not us that's changed. It's the town.
So his plan is literally continue the Golden Mile and pretend they don't know about the robots and leave quietly in the morning, which is a pretty good plan. And I do like this when Andy starts drinking.
He's teetotal.
And says, drink up this boo-boo. So yeah. I don't know. I get them confused sometimes. But yeah, they go to the next bar. Then the sixth trusty servant, Oliver goes out. And this is cool because in the beginning they say Oliver is out of commission in this bar. So that means he must die. So he goes to the Reverend Green.
What the fuck are you doing? I'm gonna go and have a little chat with the Reverend Green. You're gonna buy drugs. I'm gonna go over there and subtly check if that is the Reverend Green. And if it is, I can ask him what's going on.
Who sells him drugs and tells him that he's not a robot. And that these robots are trying to help. And the word robot means robotic, which means slave. Anyway, so now they're at the two-headed dog, where Gary gives with Sam again, pushes her into the disabled bathroom where he tried to tell her about the robots. He doesn't believe her.
Twins doesn't automatically make them creepy.
It does a little bit.
You had sex with them.
Hey.
Him, I mean, she doesn't believe him. And this is a cool shot. They literally just dug a hole in the wall and usually removed the hole for the camera, so they can do that image of the the reflection of the mirror without having the camera reflection. Gary kills the twins, and Sam now knows that they're in trouble. They get to the mermaid where the Blanks try to seduce the guys, but then Basil, the crazy man, knows the truth.
That's how they do it. It's not an invasion, it's a merger. They don't want to get rid of us, not if they can help it. They just want to make us more like them.
They're there to, not to an invasion, but to make them part of their own cause. So now at the Beehive, they're still in the same plant. No, they find out Oliver's a blank. Pierce.
What Mr. Shepard is trying to say is that...
Rossi comes back, tries to convince him to join their cult or whatever. And then there's a big fight that breaks out, and it's the most amazing fight in the movie. And the best action scene of 2013, in my opinion.
I fucking hate this town!
So they escape narrowly. Sam leaves, and Gary tells her that he'll look after Steven, who's a much better person than he is.
I'll look after Stevie for you, eh? He's a good guy. He's better than me.
And Sam tells Gary he's not a bad person, he just needs to grow up.
Gary, you're not a bad person, but you're not boyfriend material. You know, the whole free spirit, quick one and sable toilets thing, it's kind of cool when you're 17, but not when you're facing 40.
And so they get to the King's Head. They try to see which one of them is blank, so they'll show their scars because they notice Oliver didn't have his birthmark, even though he had it removed later. So they're a new baby, a man baby. So Gary proves he's not.
There. That proves I'm human.
Proves you're stupid.
Exactly. Ow!
Yes, Gary.
A blank. Anyway, so also Pete gets killed by a school bully who.
Punch that fucking lights out! No, there's too many of them.
It was a blank now. And Pete was out of commission at this point. I'm telling you, the opening foreshadows a lot of stuff. And yeah, they go to the hole in the wall, finally to the world's end, the final bar and the pub crawl. And I love this scene so much. Gary is all he wants because he thinks everyone has a perfect life except him.
You have it! You've got everything you want!
What are you talking about?
Oh, you've got your perfect job and your perfect house and your perfect wife!
But Nick Frost explains that everything's not perfect, that he's trying to fight to get his wife back.
She left me, Gary. She took the kids to her mum's 3 weeks ago. I will continue to fight because that is how we survive.
You fight for what's important!
What is so important about the Golden Mile?
And he asks him why is the Golden Mile so important? As this Gary's response.
It's all I've got!
And I just love this, how he's crying, telling that's the only thing that he cares about, the only happiness he had. And then it is revealed that Gary was suicidal, and that's why he was at that circle. He was getting mental help.
You need help, Gary.
I got help. You know what help was? Help was a lot of people sitting in a circle talking about how fucking awful things had got.
How'd you like this line?
Told me when to go to bed! Me!
I also love this. This scene always makes me cry, seeing Gary pour his soul out, saying that his life was never better that night, and he wanted to recreate it with his friends.
It never got better than that night! That was supposed to be the beginning of my life!
So, they finally get down to the world's end, into a cellar pretty much, kind of like in Shaun of the Dead. There's always puzzles in these movies. They meet the leader of the network, but Gary annoys them so hard that he leaves. And
What we're gonna do?
It's pointless arguing with you. You will be left to your own devices.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck it.
The blanks all shut down. And then there's a big pulse that they escape, and they all survive. well, except for Oliver and Pete. Anyway, so because of that electric pulse, all their technology is wiped out, so they're back in the Dark Ages, which that's kind of like, oh yeah, because the network were the ones who created all their communication devices, which I forgot to explain. Anyway, so now they're just living normally with blanks being outlawed pretty much, or kind of like the zombies in the first movie. They're just there, and yeah. And then Andy's saying that he hopes Gary is still alive and happy. That's all he wanted, was to be happy. And then we see Gary happy because he has his friends again, but in the past.
Wherever he is, I hope he's happy.
5 waters, please.
Past, because of the young blanks of his. So he has his friends. He goes into the bar. He's gonna do the Golden Mile again, but orders 5 waters because now he's teetotal. He doesn't need the alcohol anymore. Now he just wants to be in the company of friends. But the bartender refuses service, so he says, they get ready to battle and they ask him who he is, and he says,
You are. Me? They call me the king.
and that was The World's End. An amazing film with some great foreshadowing, some great writing, some very emotional scenes. The whole thesis of growing up, going back to your hometown and it being different is kind of what it's also about. And this time picked an amazing performance that made me cry, that made me feel good, feel bad for him, feel angry at him, laugh with him, cry with him, all that stuff, all that great stuff an actor can do. Simon Pegg pulled it off very well in this performance, and a very well-written characters, a well-written script. The direction's amazing. The fight scenes are great. I implore you just to watch this movie again if you've already seen it, but just watch every single fight scene and look at every single detail and see how amazing the choreography is. Anyway, this has been a great time talking about this film because I love it. So remember to like the video, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to. Honest Critic, out.